All right, I was in Florida this past week. Whenever I post this, I don't know. It was in the middle of March, okay? We were in Florida the middle of March. And I brought with me 3 different types of mineral sunscreen to see which one I like the best, to figure out which one I'd recommend for people. So I'm just gonna give you a little review on each of these sunscreens I used, what I liked and didn't like about them. These were the 3 I used. I used the Rowe Casa All Natural Mineral Sun Shield that was tinted. I used the Faye Mineral Sunscreen Spray. This is the Thrive Market brand. And then I used the Sky and Soul Face and Body Sunscreen, SPF 30. This was also SPF 30. This one didn't say what SPF it was, so that was kind of weird. I'll start with this one. This one was my least favorite out of all 3 of them. It says it was tinted, but it still left me with like a white cast. It didn't really blend into my skin very well. I will say that I bought this last year, so that could play a part in it. But I like this brand because it's organic. It's based out of Texas, so I like that it's US made. So I was really hopeful for this one, but it just wasn't my favorite. It left like a residue on the backpack that I was wearing. I could see it sitting on my skin, which I really wasn't a fan of. And I just felt like greasy and like I had a film over me, because essentially I did. So I wasn't really a big fan of this. This is what the color looks like when you first apply it. Maybe like I just didn't apply it properly. I don't know, but I was really disappointed. Like, I was complaining to my husband all day about it. I was like, I can see it, I can feel it. Like, he would touch my arm and he's like, ugh, you're greasy. Like I said, it was leaving a residue on my backpack, which I was really annoyed with. It was leaving a residue on, like, I had a fanny pack that I was using as like a crossbody bag. It was leaving a residue on that. I was just not really thrilled with it. So even if it was because it was slightly old or I didn't apply it properly, I wouldn't buy it again, just because I had such a negative experience with it. And I'm just like, all right, I'm done with you. I don't want to use you. I was like, when can I go home and shower and get this off my body? Hi, Winnie. Hi, baby. Oh, how are you? Look at you. Come here. Come here. No? Okay. The Faye one, I like that it's a spray. Most mineral sunscreens are lotion, so I appreciated that it's a spray. You can get more area. It does leave you with a little bit of a white cast. I think it absorbs pretty quickly. It massages in pretty nicely. Let's see, it's paraben, phthalate free, fragrance free, Leaping Bunny certified B Corp. I did enjoy it. Like I said, it did leave me with a little bit of a white cast. It felt like I had sunscreen on, kind of sticky, but I would use it again. Again, it's nice and convenient that it's a spray. So I would use this a million times over this, like, hands down. And then this Sky and Soul one, this was probably my favorite out of all 3 of them. It's made with edible ingredients, so you could eat it, I guess. But it's tallow, non-nano, zinc oxide, jojoba, lecithin, beeswax, silica, vitamin E, radish root. It's reef-safe, non-comedogenic, which means it's not going to clog your pores. Third-party SPF tested, water resistant, hypoallergenic, blah, 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 all the things. This had such a nice, like, application to it. It felt moisturizing while protective. That's probably from the, like, beeswax, vitamin E, jojoba. Tallow, I'm not a huge fan of tallow skincare, especially for my acne prone skincare friends. Like for me, I don't really like tallow on my face just because I feel like it clogs my pores and gives me some blackheads. But if I'm just using this every once in a while on my face when I'm like out in the sun, I do have a SPF tinted facial serum that I use, so I didn't really need to use this on my face, but like for reapplication, since I didn't bring my other like SPF with me out and about, I had this with me out and about. If I felt like my face was getting a little fried, I would add this, but I did like the way this felt. It didn't give me a white cast, which was really nice. It did feel like I had a layer of something on me, and like when I went in the pool and looked down on my legs, I could see the sunscreen or like lotion, like, you know, the marks, the sweeps on my legs. So it did have like kind of a coating, but like I said, it didn't give me as much of a white cast. This is, you can kind of see the color of it. But I really liked the way that this felt and the way it applied to my skin. It says for external use only, so obviously don't actually eat it, but it's a very clean ingredient list, which I appreciate. It's definitely the shortest ingredient list out of all of them. So I would say that this would be the one that I would go to reorder throughout the summer. I will most likely start carrying this. They have an SPF 30 and an SPF 50. So I would definitely get this one again. Again, I just like the way it felt. But those were the 3 that I tried. Least favorite, would use again. Not a huge problem with it, and probably favorite. So for what it's worth, those are my thoughts on things. And if you have any questions about the sunscreen that you're using, or if you found a mineral-based sunscreen that you are in love with, let me know. I would love to try it. I hope you have a beautiful day, and let's glow together, friends. Bye.